What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is my official video back from sick leave. I know you guys saw two other videos last week, but those were pre-recorded. Sorry to burst your bubble. And so I am back, and I am back on time. Today I think is actually Valentine's Day, and I know that I always try to release a video because I know all the single people panic or feel some type of way around Valentine's Day. And so last year I actually had my bestie who's married on Valentine's Day. She came on, we spoke about marriage, life, singleness. And so this year I am going to talk about this single season. My disclaimer, this video is not to bash men or bash women or say, oh, I'm too independent to get a man, or I'm too independent to get a woman, I don't want whiny. This is not the intent of this video. My sole purpose for this video is just so single people do not feel like it's the end of the world because they're single, and to help people live their best potential in the single season, and then when they get married they will live their best when they get married. Also, I'm not an expert in relationship advice. I'm just solely going to be speaking about stuff that has been in my life and like stuff that I've heard from other people. So if you want to see the video that I did last year with my bestie, I'll put the link on the screen and in the description. You can go watch that one. That one was actually a good conversation because you saw two sides of it. I actually really enjoyed that conversation. Okay, so I recently watched, was it last week or the week before, because I've been watching a lot of TV lately. I recently watched a video by this guy called Anthony O'Neill, and he had like these new shows called The Single Mansion. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool, what is this about? And so I watched it, and he asked his guest, he had two questions that stood out to me, and even though I've always known these questions, so I just wanted to come on here and like discuss a little bit about these two questions. I want to create a conversation, so come into the comment section and answer these questions for me, please. Thank you. Number one, are you happy single? Like, are you happy single? Like, when you sit with yourself, like deep down, nobody can see your answer, can you say you really happy single? So if your answer is absolutely yes, I am happy, 101% happy, I am content with life, great. But if your answer is no, I just want to challenge you a bit. Number one, why is your answer no? Do you feel like dating somebody else is gonna give you a yes? Do you feel like, oh guys, let's just change my sitting arrangement because I'm like locking my knees. Okay, this is better. Do you feel like having a partner is gonna make you happy? Do you feel like you're not happy with the way you look? Do you feel like you're just not happy with the season you're in? Is it a job? Is it anything? Because if your answer is no, I would say you're in a perfect position to actually turn it into a yes, because now's the time. You're single, you can make choices on your own. When you're married, you can't just up and leave and move to a new country. You have to consult somebody else. When you have kids, you have to put them first. When you want to go on vacation, it's not as easy as when you're single. When you're married, you have to consider like, oh my gosh, I need to tell my husband I want to go on vacation. You know, there's like all those things. Whereas when you're single, I definitely encourage you to maximize, to be single to the fullest. Like currently I'm making it my goal to be like max out my single season, that when I do get married and when I do have a bomb ass husband, I'll be like, damn, I fulfilled my singleness. I pursued everything I wanted to pursue. I pursued my YouTube, I pursued my job, I want to make money, I want to do, there's so many things you can do that I'm not saying marriage is limiting you or marriage is like blocking you from doing. It's just that you have to consider somebody else when you're married. And so like I would encourage you, especially those that are like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm happy single, do the stuff that makes you happy. Pick up a hobby, go learn something new. You're gonna have to be happy on your own before you find somebody else, because what's gonna happen is that when you find somebody else and they don't fulfill what you expected them to fulfill, you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be like, let's say you're gonna be happy when you find a husband. You'll only start pursuing this job when you find a husband, for example, and then you find a husband and suddenly you still feel this way. Like, be okay with sitting with yourself and saying, okay, what do I like? Do I like this? Do I like that? Because as time goes by, you will learn what you as a person like. That was the best advice I ever got. Like when my best friend was getting married, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, when are you gonna date? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna date? And even though it was out of love, one of my friends were like, she's married, and she was like, just sit with yourself. Like, the one thing she regretted, and that she loves her husband, she loves her kids, but she was like, the one thing that she regretted was rushing into marriage too soon. And she's like, she's happily married, she's not thinking of getting divorced, but she's like, I wish I had that time to myself before getting married. Because especially if you're like me, if you're like, when I get married, it's till death do us part. You kind of know that, okay, once you get married, you walk down the aisle, it's you and your husband, ride or die forever, you know. And so she was like, she just regrets not taking time, not doing more things for herself, not like going on these adventures, not, you know, because now she has to take the boys to soccer practice, she has to help them drive. Like, there's just so many things she has to do. And like, she had to put, not to say put her dreams in the back, but it's not as easy as me. When I decided to come to America, nobody was holding me back. I can pack my stuff now and be like, deuces, I'm going to Australia. Or I can pick up a hobby, I can learn stuff. And so I would say, do everything you want to do. Maximize it. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Push yourself. Have fun. That's also another thing. I feel like people sit and focus so much about the next season, about getting married. I want to get married. I want a boyfriend. I want Instagram. And you forget to have fun now. Just have fun. Go on spontaneous vacations. Do stuff on your own that will bring you joy. That when your husband does come, he adds the happiness. It's not the other way around where you're just sitting and you're whittling away and hoping that he comes so then you can start your life. Another thing about marriage is that marriage is amazing, and I'm like super excited to get married. Like, I can't wait to get married. It'll be so much fun. But at the same time, I know, and once again, all my friends are married, in fact even my cousins, and they've said that the problems you have when you're single, or the problems you have when you're dating, it's almost like somebody has a magnifying glass over you, and it like extends. Because if you don't deal with your problems when you're single or when you're dating, it becomes a bigger problem when you're married. And when you're married, you can't just walk away. You have to stay and talk about it, you know. When I'm single, I can be like, you know, I don't like this restaurant, but I can just get up and walk out. But when you're married, you can't be like, I'm getting up and walking out. Your husband is like, no, but I like it. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like the food here. And he's like, but I love the food here. And so, you know, you have to like compromise in a way. And it's just a small example. Number 2 is, why are you single? So the first one was, are you happy single? Number 2 is, why are you single? And I think I touched on it in the previous question, where I said, like, is it because nobody's asking you out? Is it because you just come from a good guy or a good girl? Is it because you are burnt in the last relationship? Is it because the standards that you have are unrealistic? Like, you want a girl that has like small feet, big butt, this, but you yourself don't have any of that. There's like, what, like, ask yourself. I want you guys to sit back, because I sat back and I was like, I always knew why I was single, but I realized now that I was giving the answer I used to give 2 or 3 years ago. And the years have changed. Obviously, the time has changed, the season has changed. And so I just sit down now and be like, why am I single? Like, why am I single? And I realized, which is a good and a bad thing, is that I enjoy my own company way too much. And I also just haven't prioritized dating, to be honest. I haven't made it a priority. I'm like so focused on having a great relationship with my family, and like just trying to build my YouTube channel and trying to figure out my next steps, that I kind of almost forgot I have to date. And every time I bring it up with my friends, my one friend in particular, we'll talk and I'm like, oh, I wish I could go on a date. And she'd be like, you need to get out there. Like, even last night she was like, you need to stop complaining about it and actually like work towards it, because I realize that I get so distracted with everything around me that I don't prioritize it. And I'm always like, oh, I'm still young, I have time. Next thing I get up, I'm 55. But having said that, I'd rather be single and only get married when I'm 40 to the best of the best guy than rush and get married now at like 20, in my 20s, just to marry a douchebag. Because I'm telling you now, I honestly prefer you guys to wait it out. The pressure will be there. Your parents will pressure you, society will pressure you, your friends will pressure you. It will always be there. But the time you decide that, listen, I no longer want to be single because I feel like I am fulfilled as a person. I am happy being single, and I feel like I'm fulfilled as a thing, and not because this guy keeps asking you out. That must not be the reason. Your reasons must be like, okay, I'm contented where I'm at in life. Or, and I'm not saying you can't go into a relationship because the guy is persistent and he keeps asking you out. I just think that don't just get into a relationship because it's available. Sit with yourself and be like, okay, really, why am I single? And then you will find the answer. And if it's an answer that you're not happy with, you always have time to work on it. There is no like, nobody said that you must be married by 50 or you must have kids and grandkids by 70. Set a time frame that works for you. And so I just want to come in and say it's okay. It's okay that you don't have a Valentine's Day this year. It's okay that you're single. Don't be like, I'm single because all men are trash. If you think that, then there's something you need to deal with. You need to check your heart. Or if you're single because you feel like that woman only wants you for your money, then maybe she's not the woman. Like, maybe she's not the woman. Or maybe you just want a certain type of wife. Like, I had someone that wanted a trophy wife that didn't want his wife to work. And I was like, I'm gonna stop right here because I don't see myself sitting at home and just being a housewife. Now I have friends who would love to be housewives. So it just depends on you as a person. I don't want you guys to feel pressured and like get into wrong relationships just because of the season. It's Valentine's Day. All your friends have boyfriend and girlfriends. I want you guys to maximize your full potential, because I strongly believe that when you as a person, and for me, I always say me and God, when my relationship with God is healthy, and when I feel my healthiest and I maximize myself to the core and who I am as a person, it overflows to every aspect of my life. And I've seen where I'm like, when I'm super healthiest, happy, content with where I'm at, my job is going well, my job would go well, my relationships with friends and family would go well. And I'm not saying there's no like drama or icky, but I'm just saying that I'm like content with my job, content with my personality, myself, my friends. I'm content in every aspect because Angel as a person has become content. Therefore, I'm not striving. Whereas if you're trying to impress somebody, you focused on, I'm not married, and everything else is like falling apart. Whereas if you focus on, I need to be healthy, I need to be strong, I need to maximize. But yeah, don't just take the scraps off the table. Don't just take the girls or the guys that are just throwing themselves at you knowingly that you're not fully content with where you're at. Pressure is always gonna be there. Like, just think about it. If you're gonna be pressured to go into a relationship because of what everyone around you thinks, you're gonna be pressured to have kids, you're gonna be pressured to get married, it's just gonna be an ongoing cycle. And when you show up at your highest self and the other person shows up at their highest self, can you imagine that marriage? Like, can you imagine that powerhouse where the husband has worked on himself and you have worked on yourself and they come together and it's like a beautiful explosion? And I'm not saying that the minute you guys get together and get married it's gonna be perfect. Nope. You're gonna build together, and together you guys would learn one another and become even more perfect. But it would be great if you already know your problems. So like, I know I have a big mouth. I know that I speak before I understand, and so sometimes I miss what you have to say, but I already have an answer. And so I know I can't take that into marriage. I know that when we're dating, I'm gonna let you know that, listen, just find a way. I'm very strong, opinionated, but I also know where it's rooted from. I also can like pinpoint the day to where it started. And so I can say, I'm not making excuses, but this is my weakness and these are my strengths. And so if it ever comes out, this is not because I think any less of you, it's me trying to work through myself. But yeah, I'm rambling, I'm being a rabbit trail. So thank you so much for watching this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And send this video to all your single friends, because I don't want people to feel like, yeah, Valentine's Day is a good thing. It's like, it's not your time yet. It's not your time to have a Valentine's Day. It's like you crying for your birthday when it's not your birthday yet. So yeah, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.